Now, going over to the Cultural Pride podcast, you have Matt Walsh on South African refugees going viral on X. Now, the statement got 3.7 million views and 133,000 likes, which is quite a few to say the least. Now, Matt Walsh says, quote, "Folks, remember, the white South Africans don't belong in South Africa even after 400 years. White Americans are invaders in America even after 500 years. But the third world illegal migrant who got there last Tuesday is just as American as anyone else. If you call him an invader, you're racist," unquote. Again, that got 3.7 million views, 134,000 likes, which is quite a few to say the least, as some people are critiquing, how dare Trump have these people whose lives are legitimately in danger flee South Africa with a lot of people are suspecting the upcoming genocide to come to the United States or to actually be refugees. Because again, the African leaders are literally chanting for death to them. And one of the leaders in an interview was so blazing to say, he's like, "I'm not calling on their deaths, but I can't make any guarantees. Can't guarantee tomorrow." Something to that effect, which is just ridiculous. Now, one of the first comments comes to us thanks to Ian Miles Chong, and he says, quote, "They just hate white people," quote, getting 222 likes. Barefoot Pregnant says, "Everyone deserves respect, but the roots of America can't be erased for political convenience," getting 27 likes. 28. Paul Zupa says, "Not just as Americans, more Americans, illegals get benefits that not even citizens do." And 48, 7 likes. Yeah, they get new cell phones. I mean, shoot, I got a Samsung S10. Knock on wood, it'll last a little while longer as I go through the ever debate. Do I stay Samsung or go to the dark side? Go get Apple. So, to Apple's credit, their medium phone does have a terabyte capacity. Samsung doesn't offer that until you get the large phone, which I know they have all fancy names, but I just call the phone small, medium, large because every phone company makes a small, medium, large model. But I partially digress. They get free phones. California gave them over $2 billion in health care for illegals. New York gave them, $7 per night hotel vouchers. It seems like you get more benefits by breaking into the country than actually paying taxes. Which is kind of disappointing. You also have Based Electrician saying, quote, "Leftists, it's getting a little too white around these parts. What do you say, Maryland man?" Getting 26 likes. You have Anti-Woke Memes says, quote, "Woke ideology is evil." There's a picture of a kid with a poster. And it says, "Black is something." It says, "Watching my 5-year-old wrestle with his whiteness." What does it say? It's upside down and poorly written. They got 238 likes. Did someone respond to what it's actually saying? Nah, not seeing it. Dr. Sherry says, "Just good old-fashioned apartheid millionaires who got ran out of the country because they cannot oppress Africans anymore." 145 likes in a contrarian statement. Now, one of the first comments to her, almost ratioed her, but not quite, comes from TTL Inc. Said, "Every single leftist woman should be deported to Libya. They need a dose of reality." Getting 130 likes. It is fascinating when you look at the rates of who has the most mental illness. It's usually college-educated liberal white women. Scrolling down, you have D. Oaks Mozzarella says, "The group that built the country," gained 49 likes. Gregory Ross says, "That ended in the 90s, who moron," gained 40 likes. Danny D says, "Typical childish liberal white women. They're all the same, full of hate," gained 41 likes. You forgot full of hate and cats. I don't want to say 99% of cats are bought by them, but probably 95%, give or take. Zine Fu says, "Just another white female libtard," gained 40 likes. Crazy Vibes also brings up some statistics, though. Again, I've looked around. I can't see the source. I have not seen the source for this. Crazy Vibes says, soon they will find out. And this is a little meme or a little picture. It says, quote, "South Africa F around and find out. White farmers currently produce 95.3% of their corn, 98.7% of their wheat, 97.6% of their cotton, 97.2% of their citrus, 99% of their potatoes, 91.4% of their tomatoes, 96.9% of their soybeans, 95.8% of their poultry, 66% of their cattle, and 89% of their wool." And that got 812 likes. Yeah, Mirthful Moments says, "Another type of racism, any type of racism is unacceptable." And he has a picture that says, "Believe it or not, hating white people is racism too," getting 745 likes. Going down, you have McKinley said, white South Africans have shown more patriotism than the non-white who have lived in America for years." And you can see the folks that just arrived here, they're carrying American flags. The same people have been here for over years, and you see a bunch of people holding, flags of Mexico, which is a third world hellhole that, eliminates their political opponents. What's a nice way of saying this? Assassinations, with the cartel basically running the country. There's a reason my family came from Cuba. You'll never see us holding a Cuban flag. It's a third world hellhole because of the communism. Yeah, no real Cuban holds a Cuban flag. When they come here, we have American flags because America's awesome. That's why we came here legally. And believe it or not, family actually flew here. One of the last flights out when Fidel took over, but another topic for another time, perhaps. That again got 1,000 likes. Ambassador Charlie says, quote, if white Southern Africans don't belong in South Africa, even though they've lived there for 400 years, then why do blacks belong in America? Getting 508 likes. Oz Demar says, Boers have been in many parts of South Africa longer than the Bantus have been there. Whites arrived in America before Maori, before in New Zealand. The left is completely, utterly hypocritical when it comes to the ideas of nativeness, indigenous, and belonging. Getting 6.5 thousand likes. Let's see. Mr. Pitbull, though I do not suspect is the artist or the singer Pitbull, unless he has a disproportionate amount of free time in his hands to tweet these days. Now, he says, quote, in South Africa, 70% of murdered farmers are white. The white makes just 7% of the population. The targeted slaughter is not random violence, but deliberate racial genocide. The mainstream media's shameful silence on this atrocity exposes their bias and betrays justice. Getting 1.7 thousand likes. It looks like a bunch of white folks in black t-shirts and jeans. I think of. Actually, no, I did. I guess in my life I did own one pair of black jeans. So weird though. And they have a sign that says "Stop Killing Farmers," getting 1.7 thousand likes. And they say Black Monday in the Killing Fields. They also have Jim from The Office with the whiteboard, mame looking. And this is posted to us thanks to anti-left memes. Says, dear leftists. It says Jim saying, I refuse to be lectured about racism by someone who hates white people. Getting 977 likes. Brotherhood says, quote, white Europeans apparently don't belong in Europe either. They're flooded with invaders too. They simply hate white people, but want our wealth. Getting 3.2 thousand likes. Earthful Moments. Matt Walsh, the Great Replacement Theory is real. If you have any doubt, the story about the South African refugees should clear it up for you. The left wants unchecked third world migration because they want to make America less white. That's it. That's simple. That's why they oppose white refugees, because white refugees defeat the whole purpose of program. Getting 946 likes. And yeah, I'll never forget when Joe Biden says it's a good thing that you don't see white folks in commercials anymore. Well, he has a lot of things I'll never forget. That's one of them. Let's see. Scrolling down more and more. Ooh, contrarian statement, mentally vacuous. Well, though maybe that's why he has the most replies to his statement. Faye simply says, wait a minute, it's gotta be her. Yeah, Faye, F-E-Y. That was a character in Cowboy Bebop too. Good old show. Now, she says, quote, this tweet smells like powdered wigs and stolen land. And Vox X Nilio says, what land in recorded history wasn't stolen? Getting 140 likes. Yep. Ratio, as you might say. Worldwide Hook says the chick spreading her legs for attention and advertising her OnlyFans. You should hate everyone in the entire world, as every race slowly has conquered land. Getting 106 likes. Chad of all Chad says, why are white women so self-loathing? Good question. Getting 185 likes. Maybe it's Cosmo. Mark Johnson says the hypocrisy is astounding. You have a typical leftist who's overweight with short pink hair, white woman, obviously, and says, refugees welcome. Then they see the white Africans and she's angry, getting 317 likes. So again, hopefully there's no one major hurt in South Africa. Hopefully nothing bad does happen, but it seems to be that the politics are boiling, so to say. But let me know in the comments your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.